So I was listening to one of your YouTube videos,
Hmm.
and in that you had said that uh, it's very difficult for a person to manage all the aspects of his life or her life, and it becomes so overwhelming, and there is so much of suffering in it, and it's not possible. And
Hmm.
that's why we surrender and we walk on spiritual path.
Hmm.
That was so liberating
Yeah.
because throughout our life we are trying to manage our personal life, financial life, social relationships, and so many things.
Yeah.
And like there is never a true balance in all of these things.
No. They're just when you really feel like you are the manager,
Yes.
then it's just nonstop restlessness, always a feeling of like, I have not done enough. There's something more to be done, and just fear of the future,
Yes.
right? So it's a very painful position. So that's what, like, and I'm glad that you say that the surrender teaching and practice feels freeing, because if it feels freeing, then it's like it's absolutely meant to be practiced in this moment for you. You're right. Like what feels freeing and peaceful to us is really our navigator, what is calling us on this path. But it's so true. Um, I agree that the surrender teaching, where it's like, hey, throw your worries on God. God bears them. Recognize your own limitations. Notice how you do not control life. You do not dictate your experience. You do not choose. And now give real responsibility of all of this over to the higher power. And I mean, the higher power is always working through us, through our own actions, through our all of our movements. It is the higher power alone that works through us. Now we're learning to notice this. So now when we actually give that responsibility over to the higher power, now we're just available, right, to do whatever is needed, but we are able to do it without so much anxiety, without self judgment, or without attachment and suffering the outcome. Because now you're noticing that, hey, everything that happens is the work of the higher power. It is as it needs to be. Sometimes it's favorable to the person, sometimes it's unfavorable, but that's also just the way experience goes. And sometimes unfavorable things turn into good things that I like. And sometimes favorable things turn into like my worst nightmare. So we're like, okay, I'm not just going to be fooled by these appearances anymore. You know, good and bad are relative. Like, yeah, I'm going to enjoy the good, maybe even suffer the bad. And that's also okay. But come on, I'm no longer just spending my entire life energy chasing the good and avoiding the bad. I'm letting go of believing, oh my God, there's an experience out there that's going to fix me or fulfill me. I'm letting go of that now. And I'm surrendering. Whatever God wants to make my life into, okay, I'm happy to receive it. Ironically, like that's the path of our happiness. Yeah.
And when it comes to free will, the only free will we have is where I put my attention.
The only what that you have?
The only free will I have
Mm,
is where I put my attention.
yeah. In one way, you can say will is attention, right? Will is sort of attention. But in one sense, it's a very helpful perspective that the only free will you are given is where you are going to put your attention. And there's a teaching by Ramana Maharshi, I believe he says like, yes, the only power you have is whether you want to turn inward or not. So turn inward. But in one sense, in some teachings and even in our own experience, we can notice that even that you barely have control over, you know. Because if you did, then you would just always turn inward. Having come to recognize the truthfulness of these teachings, if you did have control over your attention also, then you would only turn inward. But you don't even have control over that. So that itself is even more freeing because, right? Because if you do believe that, okay, I control my attention, you, as Praveen said, you still are in that conqueror mentality where now you're trying to conquer this understanding because you're like, I'm going to will myself into deeper self knowledge. And that is how we start the meditation practice. But little by little, we keep failing. We see that we're like, hey, I've been meditating for years and I still am not perfect. I'm still not just a, I can't still can't control my attention. And so you're seeing that even attention, whether it's restless or scattered or focused, is not really myself. It's not even really under my control. And so you're really starting to notice that, like, I actually have absolutely no control over the spiritual path. Um, although I appear to be like, hey, God is, these teachings are coming and I'm trying my best to practice them. You're seeing that even that is actually just a play that I witness, not something that I do. That is freeing because, yeah, now there's an even greater pressure lifted off your shoulders. Before you sort of surrendered the worldly pressure, trying to perfect your worldly life. So you let that go. But now you have a spiritual pressure. You're like, oh my God, I have to just attain enlightenment. I don't care about the world anymore, but I'm really trying to attain enlightenment. But now that you're seeing that you're not even able to do that, and you keep failing at even that, now we notice and it's like, okay, even this, is not in my control. Now I'm even letting go of this whole spiritual pressure. Brings us to the wisdom, brings us to the wisdom that I'm only the witness. I am that.